the channel where real crashes speak louder than any words. Today, 100 collisions that'll make your heart race, skids, wrong way madness, brutal fails, and drivers who clearly left their instincts at home. Watch closely and learn. Watching a crash like this, you realize everything can go wrong in just a couple of seconds if your brain doesn't kick in on time. Some drivers seem to think they're alone on the road, but reality sets the record straight very quickly. Every time I see something like this, I can't stop thinking. Just a second ago, everything was fine, and now the metal's folding. Here's where you see that even 1 second of hesitation on the highway can cost a lot, and not just for you. Some of these clips feel like the driver completely let go of control and just watched to see what would happen. Even if you drive perfectly, there's always someone who shows up out of nowhere and wrecks everything. There are crashes where you can immediately tell things could have ended differently if just one person had thought a second earlier. It seems some drivers completely lack a sense of danger. How else do you explain moves like that? You watch this and realize how often everything depends on a split second and one wrong decision. Sometimes the car's still intact, but you can tell the person inside went through serious stress, and that's no less dangerous. It's incredible how one wrong maneuver can set off a chain reaction for everyone nearby.
Use 104 light traffic. What's the next exit?
Approaching 49, looks like he's going to take the 46 exit now.
Crash.
Looks like someone was in a get-through no matter what mood, and the cost was too high.
Temper. What's not received?
Watching this scene, I can't help but think all of this could have been avoided with a glance in the mirrors. That moment when the road decides to remind you, no one's safe, even when everything seems fine. After watching something like this, you almost want to just sit in your parked car and rethink if it's worth driving at all. If this were a movie stunt, I'd give it a 10 out of 10, but sadly, this is all real. Every time I'm convinced, even if you drive carefully, someone else will crash into your plans. Hard to believe someone actually thought, yep, this move will totally work. After this, you start to appreciate boring drives with zero excitement. Better that way. You watch this and wonder, was this a plan or just a total breakdown of logic behind the wheel? Looks like the driver just gave up on braking. Was he hoping it would sort itself out? This isn't just a crash. It's a highway symphony of mistakes. Everyone played their part. This is where you need slow-mo, not for the drama, but just to understand how it even happened. Three legends met on the road: overconfidence, distraction, and bald tires. This move is like trying to win chess by kicking the pieces across the board. It's just a regular highway on a regular day, but all it takes is someone getting distracted or overestimating their skills, and suddenly it's a disaster. These moments make it clear: lose focus even for a second on the highway, and the consequences won't be far behind. Sometimes it feels like people forget there are others around them, and every move they make could cost someone their life. Crashes like this remind us that even good drivers aren't safe when others act irresponsibly. You can't help but realize how much depends on a split second. One wrong move, and everything can end in tragedy. Looks like someone here decided to just squeeze through without thinking it through. The result? Twisted metal and a whole lot of trouble. Sometimes it seems like drivers forget physics exists. Weight, speed, distance. These aren't just words, they're survival formulas. Clips like this remind us, even if you drive carefully, you never know what the oncoming or neighboring driver might do. This footage feels like a freeze frame before disaster, and it all could have been avoided, if not for overconfidence and rush. This clip could easily be shown in driving school. It's a complete lesson on how not to drive, all in one scene. The driver clearly thought he was invincible. Judging by the outcome, reality hit him just as hard as the crash did. Watching clips like this makes you wonder, was it really that hard to just slow down and drive with your head? That moment when you realize things are out of control and all that's left is to watch the aftermath. A vivid reminder of how fast things can go wrong. How quickly a calm road turns into the epicenter of a crash, both amazing and terrifying. It looks like every driver here was betting on maybe it'll work out, but highways aren't a place for gambling. The pickup driver clearly misjudged the speed, especially considering he was towing a trailer. Fortunately, no one was hit. A major crash was avoided. The pickup driver clearly misjudged the speed, especially considering he was towing a trailer. Fortunately, no one was hit. A major crash was avoided. It's unclear why the driver decided to cross the railroad tracks on a red light. Fortunately, he wasn't hurt, though the car turned into a heap of metal beyond repair. It's a common scenario when truck drivers overload their vehicles. As a result, high speed and a sharp turn tip the truck over. It's unclear what stopped the driver from braking in time, but jerking the wheel and diving into the water was definitely an unexpected ending. The car driver miraculously avoided hitting anyone. Driving into oncoming traffic at that speed was a terrible idea. The crane truck driver clearly didn't consider the size of his load, and for some reason, kept moving. It ended up being painfully awkward. The driver in the white car really set up the other motorist, who ended up heading straight to the repair shop. On the bright side, he didn't have to search for one after the crash. The driver was clearly going over 100 miles per hour. Luckily, he didn't hit the people on the scooter. I bet they'll remember this day for a long time. A crazy crash. The driver was clearly fleeing a chase. It's a miracle he escaped after such a collision. What happened next remains a mystery. The driver at fault clearly tried to beat the red light, but failed to steer properly, slamming into other cars like a bowling ball. The driver's stunt was downright reckless. Maybe he was trying to mimic a Hollywood jump, but he completely misjudged the risks. The van driver had no luck today. The wind was so strong, he didn't stand a chance. What caused the high-speed driving on ice is unclear, but the outcome was predictable. The van flipped onto its side. Sometimes, even moderate speed can lead to severe consequences. This incident is a perfect example. Why the pickup driver with a trailer veered off the road is a mystery, but his flight was definitely spectacular. The truck driver was truly unlucky, falling from that height at such speed. It's hard to imagine the outcome. The van driver had a stroke of bad luck. He was driving like everyone else, but a sudden brake caused a crash that could have been avoided. The guy on the bicycle got incredibly lucky. Fate doesn't hand out second chances like that often. It's a rare case when speeding in bad weather causes such a massive accident. Out of all the cases shown, this is probably the rarest and most unbelievable one that could happen on the road. The driver of the car clearly relied on luck and refused to slow down, no matter the conditions. Another speedster whose reckless driving led to predictable consequences. Fortunately, no one was injured. It's hard to imagine what was going through this driver's mind when he sped through heavy traffic in his SUV. Lucky he didn't swerve into oncoming traffic, and the crash wasn't worse. It looks wild. What caused that airborne moment is still a mystery. A truly terrifying crash, but luckily, the driver walked away unharmed. What the van driver was hoping for is anyone's guess. His actions were anything but logical. A classic intersection scenario Both cars ended up completely wrecked. Judging by this driver's behavior, it seems like he just didn't want to pay the toll. The driver decided to tempt fate, speeding through a red light, and completely destroyed his car.